Hello, everybody. It's Stephen Waters, and this is my intercultural report, or speech, should I say, on my good friend Paul Mapande, who I served proudly with for, we were in the same company in the Army for 4 years. So pretty long time, and then we've kept in touch well into my retirement. Amazing gentleman from Zambia. Had a very awesome conversation because when you're in the military, you talk about things, but I never really dug into some of these cool questions. So I actually learned quite a bit, and I'm actually quite intrigued now. So, but yeah, Paul Mapande, he is a sergeant first class in the Army. Pretty awesome. He came over here much later in life. Well, not later in life. I'd say later as far as kids' life. He came over here. He was already 18 years old, and so he'd been through the whole school systems and all that stuff in Zambia, had a very interesting outlook on it, and had some very interesting conversation pieces about it. So without further ado, I will go into my good friend Paul Mapande, and we'll talk about some of the topics we talked about, which were types of currency, what they are, what's used in Zambia, what's the average income in Zambia. And actually some of this we did a little research together, so we're playing on the computer while we're in a little Teams call, so pretty cool. The other things would be food, which is like my favorite topic. I love food, and especially good food. And then the other one is something near and dear to me, which is transportation. I'm in that business. As far as doing supply chain stuff, I do a lot of my logistics coordinating is dealt directly with moving large amounts of product across the country or even across the world. So very interesting. And then something else near and dear to me, sports. When I was younger and a little leaner, I would partake a little more in sports. So it was very cool talking about it. He still does. He's obsessed with sports. And his Facebook is literally a scrolling international sports feed. So so here we go. We'll talk about first, and initially we're going to talk about the currency in Zambia, which is the coolest word ever. Well, there's several cool words I'll say here, but it's called the Zambian kwacha. I thought I was going to butcher that like 100 times, and he's like, really, it's not that hard. It's called a kwacha. So I just said it like 10 times in a row to make sure it was good. It's worth slightly under half of the US dollar currency, which is crazy to me. I just mind-boggling. Also talking about the income, which I said we did a little bit of research on this, and this is crazy. So the average income in Zambia, and this isn't the highest amount, the lowest amount, or anything like that, but this is just average, okay, is 1,520 kwacha through 26,800 kwacha, which in the U.S. currency comes out to about $68.27 on the low end, and $1,203.79 on the high end. How? I can't imagine. I just, like, even when we like down on ourselves and we think we're so bad, it's just like, and then you hear things like that and you're just like, how do people survive? And it was just, and him talking about like just the different things too, like you don't afford a lot of stuff over there. And so like when guys would bring chocolate to town, everybody thought they were the rich kid. If you had the chocolate, like you were the rich kid because you just didn't get chocolate. So with that currency, it turns out that you can use the Zambian kwacha. A lot of the countries surrounding Zambia, they actually don't prefer to use their currencies. They don't like to recognize them. However, they do recognize euros, UK pounds, US dollars, and South African rands. So that's about the most typical style of currency that is recommended to bring into the country. You can get pretty much anything going with any of those. Anything other than that, they're likely to turn you away. They're not interested at all. So, food, which, like I said, is some of my favorites. Actually had a chance to eat this when we were serving together. His wife had made some, and it's delicious. It's called nishima, which is very cool. I said it wrong. Nshima is what it's called. Apologies. Nshima. So what nshima is, it's a type of pounded, it's like a white bread. And then they take different types of pickled relishy stuff and put on it, and then it's delicious. And the neat thing about enchima is it's very cost effective. It doesn't cost much to make, and it's very prevalent. You can go anywhere and get it. So, and I did find out, so they do actually have some types of like fast food over there, but you would never eat it unless you're like in the extreme like upper end of the spectrum as far as salary. So maybe like world officials, things like that could eat it, but unlikely if not. So going into transportation, which I said is one of my favorites, it turns out that there are several types. However, not like how it is here. So people typically don't own a car in Zambia. They just don't. Most people either walk or ride bikes. If you need to travel long distances, there are minibuses available, which is like it's like a truck, but like the back's open, and then you can have a bunch of people on it. But a lot of times that's not very safe because a lot of people it gets really crowded, and people overhanging the edges, could fall out, could hurt yourself. You're vulnerable to a lot of things. So the actual recommended way to travel in Zambia, if you're going to go over long distances, is by rail. Although being the slowest, it is very safe because it's compact with a lot of people. So there's safety in numbers. So and is a lot of trafficking style of crime over there. So it's not good to be left vulnerable. So the safety in numbers is really appealing to the people in Zambia. Sports. Oh my goodness. I have to call it football because if I call it soccer, he'll be mad at me. Football is the main sport in Zambia. Okay? Not soccer. From here on out, I'll say soccer. So everybody's with me. It's football, it's boxing, and rugby. So maybe not throughout the entire country, but that's his sports feed. I'm telling you, it's Zambian soccer, it's Zambian boxing, and rugby, and that's it. There might as well be nothing else. He loves them, and he loves to talk about them, which is crazy because obviously football is not as big here. We have a different version of football that is big here. Boxing is quite big here. I think boxing is just kind of big worldwide. Rugby is huge worldwide, but not big here. So to end it all up, like I said, very cool guy. I've known him for quite a while. I've served with him. I would trust my life with this man. I would go into any firefight in the world with him. I thought it was very cool learning about the food, the enchima, and the fact that I've had it before was very awesome. The transportation was very interesting to me. The money in Zambia and just talking to him about it, you could really kind of tell. There was a reason that his family left, and it was because it's not the healthiest place to be. And so they came to America to pursue a better life. So when I saw what they make, it's heartbreaking, honestly. I didn't like actually learning about that all that much, to be quite honest with you. The transportation and the sports, but the transportation, like with the buses and the rail, I thought was very interesting. And the fact that safety is the main concern when traveling. So that's all I got, y'all. And take care.